Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2015, 8:01 a.m. Chicago time. Thanks for joining me as always. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. My personal opinions, market data, and recommendations subject to change without notice. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I created this slide just as a reference to who I am, as many of you are new. I'll leave this up while I go over the overnight news, what has driven the overnight market, and what we should expect for today. Greece hardens its negotiating stance by threatening to withhold payment to the IMF. Payments due June 5th. As a reaction, the euro fell 90 pips, breaking its May low. Saw a reaction in across Europe, basically, Bund, stocks, DAX. The Bank of England May minutes show that yet again, all 9 members voted unanimously for the 5th straight time to keep rates unchanged. The tone of the minutes is slightly hawkish. Again, the idea that interest rates should be raised is still foreign to most of these central banks. API petroleum inventories came out yesterday at 5:35 Central, just 20 minutes after the S&P pit close, and the numbers came out at negative 5.2 million barrels versus negative 1.1 expected. This was the 3rd straight draw on the API inventories. Gasoline inventories came in at negative 1.2 million versus plus 250,000 barrels expected. Also, this morning, Target reported $1.10 versus $1.03 and $17.1 billion in revenue in line. And finally, just as a point of reference, the S&P fair value cash to futures is negative 3.1. So you would subtract 3 points from the SPY or the S&P index to get to the futures. Actually, not 3 points from the SPY, but 3/300ths of a point, I guess. 3/10. Looking ahead, what we have today, the first release we have is the 9:30 DOE U.S. crude oil inventory number expected at negative 2 million. Cushing inventory negative 475,000. Gasoline inventory is expected at plus 50,000. Distillate inventory is expected at negative 150,000. And refinery utilization at 0.25, again, 9:30. And then the big release today is at 1 o'clock, which is the Fed release minutes from the April 29th, 28th FOMC. As far as speakers, at 11:30 we have ECB's Visco, soft dove discussing Euro policy. Again, pay attention if you're in the Euro. The Euro's pulled back a fair amount over the last few sessions. And then at 5:50 this afternoon, we get the Reserve Bank of Australia's assistant governor speaking on their financial system for those who trade the Aussie pair. Again, tomorrow, we're looking for Chinese HSBC manufacturing PMI, also Japanese and U.S. manufacturing PMI, Eurozone manufacturing and services PMI, ECB meeting minutes, U.S. jobs report, existing home sales, and natural gas. Let's take a look at what we did yesterday. Yesterday was an interesting day here. Just 1 second. Yesterday, the expectation was for again a choppy open. We're near all-time highs, and we're opening against value. So expected a choppy open with a potential for a test of the high, but overall was looking for a test of 21.21. back to this LVN from the prior day and the high that was put in 2 sessions ago. Um, Complete chop, OAIR open, complete chop on the inside, broke the IB high, did not quite get a range extension, um, broke by only 2 ticks, and then it finally breached at 21.2875 to test 21.30 and a quarter, and then we saw pretty decent selling in that. This was the largest rotation of the day down, so look for continuation down in a neutral day, and we did get a neutral day yesterday. Neutral means that it broke the first hour's high and low. It's showing a potential reversal pattern. We did the neutral, held the mid right here on the close, and closed in value. The profile shows balance, complete balance. In fact, the point of control yesterday was basically in line with the prior day and the close. And so the expectation for today, given where we are and what we have done so far in the story, the narrative we're following, the expectation for today, we're opening right up against the point of control, right up against the close of the prior day. The overnight high is close by, but if you look at the overnight profile, yet again, we have the point of control in line, a balanced profile. It looks like it may be able to test the top on the open. It looks like the 26.75 is vulnerable, but overall, I'm expecting some selling today. I'm expecting this to start rotating down towards the 21.16, 21.15.50. The key price is below 21.15.50, and then 13.75, 13.50, and then 21.10 puts us about 15 points away. We're looking for 17 points on the down range on the break of the IB low. So that's what I'm looking for as the main hypothesis. Does it mean that I'm going to wait for the market to open and sell the heck out of it? No, it does not. What it means is that any show of weakness by the buyers is going to put me short in the market. As long as I can find something that I can lean against, possibly scale in, and then I would be working the 21.21 again from yesterday, that LVN. I'll be working that. Yesterday it got to 21.21 and a quarter, so it missed my target by a tick. We see that often. I'm looking for 21.21 on the test. For it to have a small bounce, and then I'm looking for a rotation down to 18.75, 19, this lower HVN balance, and then once it gives that up, I expect 21.50, 15 and 15.50 and 15 quarter to be fairly quick to come along. So that's the key plan for today. I'm ready for it if it decides to continue higher, but the expectation is that it wouldn't. So that's the primary hypothesis real quick. I want to take a quick look at the 10-year note. You might want to keep an eye on this. The 10-year note showing, let's overlay this. Let's remove the overlay here. The 10-year note showing that it's basically trading inside of a balance zone after trending down. So what we have on the 10-year is an impulsive move down over several days, a small pullback, and a continuation move, but the pullback higher looks somewhat corrective. So I'm expecting it to get to 127.23 again to test the most valuable price in the area. But this is compressing, and it's likely to break pretty quick out of here. The magnet up top is 129, the 129.21.22 area up here. This HVN up here, a CHVN. Otherwise, we're looking for a retest of 126.28 to close the gap that was left behind from the 10th of March here. But my point is the 10-year is gearing up to do something. It's pretty well primed. You look at the Bund, and we have basically the same kind of movement in there. The Euro stocks, a quick scan here. Last week I talked about the Euro stocks most likely returning to 3630 for a retest of this value, this point of control on the major balance zone. This is a major balance zone here that encompasses the most recent high, and the expectation was for it had broken higher, come back into the 3630 area, tested, broke higher, broke lower, and then we were looking for a test from below, and we did get that yesterday. We did get a test of 3630 on the news from Greece. And today we're balancing right up against the CHVN, the composite high volume node here. So overall, the stocks are likely to be stuck for a bit in the 36, 37, 36, all the way down to 3,500, 3,525 area, this big area here, which represents this composite value. So this is what the Euro stocks looks like. It's likely to be very choppy in there. The DAX doing the same thing, popped up and is holding on to this high volume node, likely to get choppy here. Plenty of opportunity in the DAX. It's not a recommended product unless you really have your risk control and your emotions in check. This is a very expensive product to learn on. That's about it. As far as crude oil, crude oil is still experiencing a pullback from testing about the 50% pullback mark, and has dropped yesterday. I still expect it to pull back a little bit, and then I expect it to push higher and through this last high of 63.54. Again, we're trading July crude now, and that's what this chart is for. Yesterday's low in crude was very weak. A very weak low in crude, so I expect at some point this market's likely to turn over and take that out before it considers going higher. I think it still hasn't found its real buyers yet, so we'll see how that plays out. Crude is one of my favorites now as far as a product to trade, but that and the NASDAQ. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Again, hopefully you're gaining something from these. If you have any comments, go to futurestrader71.com and hit the contact button. Otherwise, I invite you to check out the glossary and also the video archive on that site. Good luck. I'll catch you tomorrow.